welcome to For Better For Us, a platform where we have real conversations about marriage, relationship,
friendship,
family,
and all the in-between.
You're welcome. I am Favor Osiri Wisdom, and
I'm Osiri Wisdom.
yes, fantastic, the husband man.
Yes.
So today we're going to be talking about what?
Growth. Talking about growth. Why it's important to grow together as a couple relationship. Basically saying growing, mutual growth. Why is growth important? Essentially, if either you are growing together or you're growing apart. And so that's what is very important that we share today. So I encourage you to enjoy our conversation. So my wife and I, we have not always been the growing people, but from our meeting we realized that we had to grow together. So we realized that we had to grow. And growth simply means changes, because the impact of growth is that you are changing. Sometimes some people, they are not growing, and so they are not changing. They are not overcoming certain things, outgrowing certain things. So the same thing that they have been worried about, complaining about, worried about as a couple, the same thing 10 years after, it means somebody has not grown. Because sometimes things don't change, but your perception about them can change, and you handle that problem. It's very, very powerful. That's what I'm going to say. Yes.
What you just said now is powerful. That things may not change,
Yes,
but your perception,
which determines your reaction or response to those things, will then change, and that will become irrelevant for you.
wow.
Because sometimes you empower something by how you react to them. Something might be literally nothing, and then you put fire on them and it become like inferno. So you want to grow. So when you see growth in people, you will know, because the people's their language will change.
Wow.
Their comments will change.
Yeah.
Their receptibility will change.
Yes.
And I remember when we married, I used to be just a book person. I was not like a movie person. So my wife loves movie.
We're more of book.
So my wife was not book person. She wanted to just watch movie. So I didn't really like movie lecture. But I realized that there are different ways people learn.
Yes.
I'm just going to start from that point. So for your spouse, there are different ways people learn.
Yeah.
Everybody don't learn. There are some that are auditory learners.
Yeah.
They like listening to tapes, to messages. Others like reading book. Others like watching something.
Visual learners.
Yeah, so don't just, try to impose your own style on your spouse. And that's one of the things many people struggle with. They want to change their spouse. They want to change. You can't even change yourself, essentially. So you want to look at the strength of your spouse, harness that strength, and make sure that you are making progress in that relationship. That's very key.
I think it's important because a marriage can actually be aging.
And
Let's
the spouse
say,
are not growing.
and the spouse they are not growing. So that somebody has been married for like 30 years does
Correct.
not automatically translate to growth in that marriage, because growth actually means changes, like you said. So if someone is not changing,
Yes.
they are not really growing. And sometimes you see people, you can actually say husband and a wife, one is growing, the other person is not growing. And when one partner is growing and the other is not growing, there'll be friction.
Yes.
Exactly, because you think in a certain way and this person just thinks totally different way, and that's actually one of the things that powers conflict. That's one of the things that powers conflict when you do not live together. Like I said, when we first met, let me share my story. When we first met, I come from a background as a Christian where it was just all of deliverance, bind the devil, casting me to fire.
The Sahara Desert.
I'm telling you, casting me to the Sahara Desert. So, and I remember then, my husband would give me books on leadership. I would say there's no fire inside the book. He will give me a book on success habits. I'll be like, what is this? There's no anointing. But you see, I think what I needed was actually a balance. As you read on fire, you read on leadership, because you're not going to be firing everybody all the time. So by virtue of my opening myself up to study the books on leadership, I began to see myself grow in other areas, you understand? So I think opening ourselves up to growth is very, very important, because growth actually shapes your perspective on issues. Conflict is reduced. I think conflict is actually drastically reduced because you have an understanding. You have an understanding. It brings me back to when we moved into the city of Port Harcourt, where we currently live. We're actually going to look for schools for our children. Remember, school, and because we had read a particular book, so we had a picture.
Yes.
We were on the same page as regards what we're looking for in a school. So we didn't have to argue about it, but there are people, no, it must be this school, it must be this school. So I think studying together is actually one of the ways couples can grow together. I mean, you read a book, I read a book, and we now create the time to be able to discuss. And I think in those discussions, we are being sharpened. We sharpen one another. But where it's just one partner that is reading all the books, attending all the seminars, applying all the lessons learned, and this other person is not open, there will be challenges.
Yes.
In that night. So
yes.
why do you think, what's the reason why some people are closed up?
A lot of people, couples, human beings first before they're a couple, are closer because they have a mentality, I already know everything. Particularly proud people.
Proud people.
Proud people don't like to learn.
Wow.
And the reason is that they think that they know everything. But that's not true, because there's no monopoly of knowledge. No one person knows everything. So what that entails is that now you are able to, move from where you are to a new dimension based on new things. They don't like people because they think that you are saying that I don't know anything. And as though not knowing something means you don't know anything.
That's true.
You may not know something, but you don't know does not mean you don't know anything.
Oh,
know anything. They really I don't know anything.
Oh, anything.
Yes. You invite some people, come let's attend a financial seminar. So you may I don't know how to manage the money. You say a man or a woman, come let's go to my seminar. So that person is going to teach me. What does he know?
What does he know?
Doesn't he have his own problem in his own family? Gradually people behave that way.
Yeah.
So all of that spirit can essentially hinder me from growing.
And I think, when we talk about growth, it's not just only for the spouses, but also children. So I think we also need to have, it's important that as a family, you have actually a growth plan for children. I mean, a growth plan for your children. What do you think about that?
You have to have growth plan, and they need to learn it early. We recommend that children need to learn growth so that they won't go and marry and then be creating problems for the person they are married. So you need to start growing together early. They need to start finding, reading. Like, our church, our family, sometimes we just go over and say, we're going to read a book. In fact, during the last break, we had children come together and then they were able to gather together and they created a very powerful reading time. We're going to see you again next week, where I want you to know, make up your mind, going to grow. Growth is intentional. Don't just wait for things to happen in a topic for you to grow. Walk yourself to growth. I want you to know this. Your best is yet to come. We cherish you and we value you.